Esperence, and I've just met this most amazing woman who's running a motel. She's kindly letting me stay at the motel, and as a result of that, I'm able to have a look around Esperence. I have been camping with my tent because that's all I can afford at the moment. And this wonderful opportunity's come up for me to really have a look at this incredible place. Look at those waves. I had to film this because I want you to see the wave action, man. I like the wave action. It was funny, as I was driving here from Wave Rock, there was some signs on the highway saying, you know, we look forward to seeing you wave again. Like this particular town was sort of trying to differentiate itself from other towns by being a town that waves. Of course, I'm all for that. I'm all for waving. Makes everybody feel welcome. This is the true sign of peacemaking, is when you wave at someone or smile at someone. Had a nice truck driver, and this is what I love about truck drivers. They indicate, let you go past. So you might be sitting behind them, and what they do is they just give a few flicks to the indicator, indicating to you that you can go past. It's sometimes a bit hard to see, particularly when it's raining like it is today. You get a lot of spray coming up from the wheels. Isn't that gorgeous for that? Oh, look at that power. Oh, that's real power. So today is very much magical again, and a real treat. I've just been to Wave Rock and realised that Wave Rock actually collects sound waves. This is a huge rock that looks like a wave here in Western Australia. And if you stand in the sort of the concave part of this wave, this rock, you can actually hear all the sounds bouncing off it. So it's like a receiving dish. Fascinating. So it's kind of nice to be here amongst waves. Waves seems to be the theme of today. Wave. How beautiful is this place? Let's go for a little wander. Trying not to get this camera wet. Check out this rock. We're talking millions, if not billions of years old. This rock. I might have to walk backwards so the camera doesn't get wet. So let's go for a little wander. Look at those lovely islands. I think I was told hundreds of islands are here in Esperance. Esperance is on the southern tip or southern coastline of Western Australia, heading towards the Great Australian Bight. I've never been to Esperance, so this is my first time. Check out those rocks. Oh, check out the waves. Oh, I'm a thrill seeker. Let's get close. Check out these rocks. Now, these are not just haphazardly. These have been, you can imagine the geological activity here has been huge. You can really feel it in Western Australia because the rocks are friggin' gigantic. And like Devil's Marbles up in the Northern Territory, not far out of Alice Springs, they're just big round rocks. They look like marbles, and they're all balanced higgledy-piggledy all over each other. The same thing was at Wave Rock. I saw the same sort of groupings of rocks. Check out these waves. Do you think I'm taking a bit of a risk? Let's hope we don't have any of those freaked out waves. Apparently in Albany they get freak waves, and who knows, I might get one here, but it's my fate. So yeah, it'd be bloody funny. It's awesome. Isn't that beautiful? Wow, how fucking awesome is that? Yeah, it is quite close. Might be a good time to retreat. It's a pretty wild day. Let me go up. Oh, certainly not going up towards dry land. It's all wet. So, you know, wet. Whether I get dumped in the ocean or whether I walk along, I'm going to be wet, one way or another. So, that's alright. Look at these beautiful rocks. Check out this. Woohoo. Isn't that interesting? Look at the shapes that nature has carved out. What an artist. What a master. I look at rocks in completely different light these days. I see them as see them as old masters, I do. I don't see them just as, you know, bits of rock. I actually think they're living material. It's certainly all life force because it's all holding together. Check out that, it looks like a mouth. Beautiful, isn't it? Look at that. Wow, what a day. I love adventures. I love not knowing what I'm going to be doing. I had no idea I was going to come to Esperence. It was only because someone told me to go to Wave Rock. And the only reason I went to Wave Rock is because I got inspired on coming to Perth to go to Wave Rock, and I didn't go. And I nearly went but didn't go. And I had another opportunity and I didn't go. And I actually felt, it popped into my mind before I left Perth this time. And then this person just suggested it, and that was it. I think that's the hint. Let's climb up here. Woohoo. Look at these guys. Sorry about the rain. I'm trying to keep you dry. Not so easy. Anyway. Look at that bloody, look at that ocean. Power of the oceans. We've got to look after our oceans, kids. You know, they're dumping a lot of stuff into the oceans these days. I remember reading some research which said we'd be fishing out the oceans by 2050. It's not very far away. And the whaling situation in Australia, that's an issue here. There is a whaling sanctuary, and I was watching a film recently of guys who were associated with Greenpeace, but they're not now, but they're kind of warriors. They get out there and they police these whaling free zones, and the Japanese are still out there whaling for scientific research, they say, which we all know it's a porky, don't we, Japanese? But you are. Naughty, naughty. The thing is though, our whales are very sacred animals and we do need to protect them. In Albany, not far from here, they used to have whaling stations, and they hauled in a lot of whales. So yes, I guess in some respects it's the pot calling the kettle black. Australians have also been involved in whaling, but we stopped. And I guess through our example, maybe the Japanese will see the light. You can't keep killing these animals to extinction, and the reality is the reason there was a moratorium on killing whales is because they're endangered. They're majestic animals, and there is plenty more fish in the sea, is what I would say to the Japanese government. You don't have to go for whales. It's not the end of the world if you stop. And if anything, you'll really be honoured for stopping. So if you're Japanese listening to this, contact your government and encourage them to look after wildlife. Once it's gone, kids, it's gone. And it doesn't matter whether you're an Australian or you're a Japanese or anything. We've got one world, one ocean. We've got a range of species and pressure, so let's look after them. So I might just take us out to sea. It's a little bit like Machu Picchu, like those rocks. One of them. I know there was a ceremonial rock I'm remembering at Machu Picchu. So maybe this will be my ceremonial rock, where my ceremony is sending love out to this beautiful ocean, alive, teeming with life. And the oceans are just hugging the mountain ranges. They're coming in and touching like fingers on the sands, timeless sands. They have within their energy a repetitious motion that brings peace to this world. In fact, they're constantly giving to us. Nature never says limits. Nature never says no. Yet when we were in love with nature, we did know that what we did to the natural world, we did to ourselves. That's why the Indigenous here in Australia saw themselves as nature. They saw her as their mother. and they belong to the land. And the thing I particularly love about Indigenous people was that the wisdom that they shared, and we only know a very small fragment here in Australia, was to listen deeply. I'm very lucky that I'm from a country that is just so incredibly beautiful and so wild, and there's not too much population here, thank God. That's the only reason it's somewhat protected, somewhat pristine. We've still done a lot of damage though. But nonetheless, I can appreciate this beauty. That's why you find, many Australians are environmentalists, because we're living in a beautiful environment. In fact, those who have become environmentalists often have come from places like Tasmania or Albany, or, the Northwest Cape. There's just so many great places here. So why don't we, as one beautiful global community, start to pull together and protect nature for ourselves and honour it as a sacred space, because I can absolutely guarantee you it's a sacred space. So on that note, there's my sacred rock. Let's finish there. Have a gorgeous day. Do something beautiful for nature. Mwah.